The funny thing with sim racing is that the margin between looking like an absolute idiot and looking like an absolute hero and having a nice result is extremely small. So much so that just one lapse of judgment, one little error or one little mistake can have you ending up in the barrier, costing you the entire race. But on the other hand, if you can keep it clean and consistent, very often you will get a massive payoff. And in the first race I was having this multi-lap battle with Snap by Dan, a fellow content creator who you should definitely check out. And then this happened.
Olivier's gonna get me. He's coming. Nah, nah. Nah, nah. He's going for it. Olivier is very quick, isn't he? Yeah, but it's going to go to 16 laps. Every single race we've done has gone to 16. Ah, he got me! Oh my god!
Lap 2.
Olivier, what are you doing? Oh! Oh! That was crazy, man. Who saw that? Come on. That was Olivier.
Oh my god.
And now I would like to know from you. What is the dumbest way you have ever lost a race in your sim racing career? Was it some glitch where you just ran into, or did you make a stupid mistake yourself? Please let me know in the comments. So yeah, that was not exactly my finest moment and it was an absolute clown move from me. So much so that I was even laughing at myself and just being like, wow, how did I do that? And it just goes to show that sometimes the margin between success and total failure is just, yeah, one lapse of concentration, one misjudgment and bam, you are in the wall and your race is over. Now let's see if I can improve on this a little bit for the second race. And here we are for the second attempt at this Silverstone race. We are in the Mercedes AMG, qualified in P8. And here we go for the start of this 32-minute race. It's a multi-class race with the LMP3 starting very close in front of us and they don't have that much of speed advantage, so it will be close heading into the first corner. I give them plenty of space because I know there's gonna be carnage, and there is. Everybody's spinning out in front of me, all kinds of collisions, and somehow we make it through. As I am waving my fist and just being happy with this, let's look in the replay here. And there is a ton of contact on the way into the corner here on the outside, and they are just running into each other, making a massive block. And yeah, there on the outside there were just like 4 cars piled up, and luckily we make it through and we are now in P3. And I had absolutely no idea how quick the guys around me would be, so it was just about finding out like how quick Mr. Artus was, how quick Mr. Giovinetti was, if they could keep up, if I could keep up with Mr. Artus. And throughout this first sector it seemed like I could get pretty racy with this Artus guy, as I had a little bit more speed than him on average. But this race was during basically peak hours EU time, so the field is absolutely stacked. It is also split 1. People are very aggressive, they will fight for absolutely every position and it will not be easy to pass this guy. And I could have cut some of this footage of actually catching this guy and passing him out, but that wouldn't tell the full story, because very often in, you know, decent level races where everybody kind of knows what they are doing, it is not easy to pass. You really have to set up a move, and even if you do get a nice opportunity, very often they will just retaliate, not let you pass. And as a result you have to race smart, you have to race clean, and you have to race using your brain. As we still have 30 minutes on the clock to actually pass this guy, so we are just looking for a nice opportunity. And as you can see, he is truly pushing. His car is sliding quite a bit. You know, he is really going for it. And so there will come an opportunity soon. Hello, I have returned to annoy you a little bit more. If you have watched this far in the video and you like what you see, please do remember to hit the like button, maybe leave a nice comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank you very much. And so here we are back behind Mr. Artus, still looking for an opportunity to actually pass him, as the LMP3s that got spun out in the first lap or had some kind of accident are now catching us up. Obviously they are in a hurry, they are also fighting each other, and so they will be quite aggressive with actually passing me. It's just about not losing that much time, but sadly I have to open up the steering wheel here. This cost me a ton of time heading onto the back straight. And just like that, I'm now 1.2 seconds behind Mr. Artus. Hopefully he will lose a little bit of time in the traffic too, but it seems that he will be quite lucky with it. But this is also the moment where I can show that if I have clean air, I can just push and actually follow this guy, catch back up to him and go for another opportunity. And as you can see, with the LMP3 being on his inside, he does get a little bit obstructed and he has to turn in later than he wanted. And we are now back in 0.6 of a second behind him. But this is also the part of the track where the Lamborghini is generally very strong, as it has very good rotation and is able to get through the corners very quickly and go back on the power. But luckily in the AMG we have amazing traction and we are back in his slipstream now. As the LMP3 car between us is still not driving away, he's still behind the leader, and it just goes to show that they don't... Oh, and there we go for the inside. There's a little bit of contact, but we both managed to keep it on the track. I am still behind him. I do have a little bit of damage, but it's nothing major. There is not even damage being reported in the pit stop tab, so that's good. And that was basically the first opportunity where I had a real chance to pass him, but he closed the door just in time for me to not be able to get through. But it also showed me that this guy was going to be pretty feisty and aggressive when it came to defending. And here, as he has a little bit compromised coming out of Maggots and Beckett, I have a nice run coming into him on the main straight, but he starts squeezing me, and he's even more squeezing me, and I'm just turning back on him like, no, you're not going to turn me into the grass, you're just not going to do it. I'm on the outside here, so no real way to get past. I'm just slotting in behind him because I also have Mr. Giovanetti behind me now in 0.3 of a second. So if I make any mistake or go wide anywhere, he will obviously pass me. As he gets crashed out, Mr. Giovanetti, by an LMP3 car. Luckily he is able to get it back on the track, but it does cost him. And the cars following me are now 1.4 seconds behind, so I can really start to focus on Mr. Artus ahead again. And here, heading into the technical section, every time he goes extremely wide, he is really compromising his entry to get a nice exit, a little bit less here. But this is of course all stuff to keep in mind to actually pass him, to maybe find a nice opportunity a lap later. As here it seems that he is braking very early every time and he is staying in the middle of the track. This also compromises him a little bit, and here he does get a very nice exit every time, but on his entry he is extremely slow, as there is an LMP on the outside there. And we are 0.2 seconds behind him, firmly in his toe. Let's look for an opportunity here. But he absolutely nails the corner, and the airwheel wash makes me go wide a little bit. That makes me lift a little bit more than I wanted to. But here, coming into Maggots and Beckett, I can use and abuse the stability of the AMG to catch back up to him. Look how close I am. We can use all of the curves on the inside. It doesn't really matter in this car. And we are firmly back in his slipstream again. And as you can see, as the tires are getting a little bit warm, I'm also struggling to actually find some turn in. This will force me kind of to change my driving style a little bit, be a little bit more on the trail braking and a little bit less on the aggressive entry with the steering. But so far we are still driving very decent race pace, so yeah, let's just keep pushing and actually try to pass this guy for once. As here he clatters the curb, that destabilizes his car, and he is able to keep it on the track, but that forces him to go wide. I go round the outside here, then I try to go for the switchback, boom, down the inside. I am alongside him here, pretty much ahead here, and here he just runs into me, he runs into me again. And now he's just squeezing me to the outside. I'm just fighting back like, hey bro, I'm also driving here, I have the right to space. But sadly, as he was on the inside, he's still ahead. Obviously, I'm getting a bit frustrated now as I'm almost running into him, as he is braking super early again. I'm also just starting to flash my lights at him like, hey bro, that move wasn't on, you know, you can defend all you want, but I will get past you at some point, maybe not be this aggressive. Obviously I do want to race hard, I love racing hard, but yeah, having just this much contact in the corners and while defending is a little bit much, and I think, yeah, it's maybe a little bit over the limit. But let's see if we can find a nice opportunity heading into the next section and actually force our way past. Because if he wants to go balls to the wall racing, you know, and just be aggressive, I can do the same. An eye for an eye, you know. And more he's just washing a little bit wide in the corners. I'm just showing my nose up the inside everywhere and I run a little bit deep here. I'm just surprised with how early he's braking every corner. And while we are both able to keep it on the track, I now have Mr. Fantozzi very close behind me, only 0.2 of a second. And there is now slowly starting to form a bit of a train behind Mr. Artus. So it's not really the truly train, it's the Artus train. But yeah, we really have to get past this guy no matter what. Because in the distance, Mr. C. Zane is having none of these problems. He's just driving away in clean air, doing his own lap times without having this annoying yellow Lambo in front of him. But you can just see it, he is struggling more and more, he's driving super aggressive, he's also sliding his tires a lot, really stressing them out. They will get hotter and hotter. But sadly, as I am also getting a little bit heated myself, I'm also starting to make dumb mistakes. Luckily I still have more than enough off tracks to go, but as you can see my front left tire is now at 90 degrees Celsius, which is basically the cutoff point where you want to be. But you can just see in maggots and buckets I'm so much quicker, and if I was in free air and didn't have to lift because he was ahead of me, I would be even a little bit quicker. But still there's not really a way to get past, and we are now already for 6 laps behind him, and it is becoming more and more a sort of mental warfare, trying to coax him into making a mistake. And here you can see in the long right hander that I even have to lift a little bit because my front left is getting hot and it is not providing as much grip as I am expecting or wanting at this point. And I am also starting to make small mistakes myself, but you can see he's still going extremely wide there heading into the first hairpin. If I am just able to get close enough, we will have a nice opportunity to actually pass him. But here he runs extremely wide, this compromises his exit, and as you can see I have a ton more speed. I lift a little bit so I don't run into him, but I still have a little bit more overspeed now. I am on the inside, he doesn't close the door on me, and I just brake extremely late here. Elbows out, there is a little bit of contact as I braked so late, but I think it's okay. And here I'm on the inside, try to get the car stopped while keeping the door closed, and he can almost go for it, but he just thinks better of it and he didn't want to run into me. This now allows me to finally drive away from this guy. And now here we are many laps later. I am in effective P2 because people are still pitting. My pit stop was already done and I thought, you know, I'm just gonna bring this home. I will most likely stay in this position and that's absolutely fine. P2 in split 1 at this time is a very good result. But just to show you how difficult it actually can be to share the track with these LMP3s. In the distance there you can see there's some smoke and it is the leader. He spun out together with the LMP3 and while he is able to get back on the track, there you can see in the mirrors he just spins out again, losing him a ton more time. This means I'm now in P1. With everything done, I don't have to come in anymore with a 4.5 second lead and only 4 minutes left on the clock, so I should be more than able to bring it home. And 1000 apologies for the audio being borked here in the last lap. I finally do know what's causing it, so it shouldn't happen in the future, I hope, fingers crossed. But here I am, P1, crossing the line. And yeah, I really wasn't expecting this. I was expecting just to be like battling for P5 or something. As someone in the chat is also complaining about Mr. Artus. He was a bit dirty, I thought. As I put a pam grazie ragazzi in the chat and celebrate a little bit my victory.